Hello, hello. Ah man, it looks like I got the setup sitting up a little bit too high. Normally we got the "May the Force be with you" cup right perfectly sitting there. It's still nicely in view, but it's all good. The coffee today is pretty decent. We're almost done with that big canister of the coffee that I got that I was mentioning that isn't that great. Found a way to make it better, which just add a lot of sugar, which is pretty typical. I'd say that's pretty typical. You just throw a whole lot of sugar in whatever it is, and there you go. Sugar or bacon. You know what I'm saying? Bacon goes good with pretty much everything. The grease and all of that shit like that. So we good to go. But let's see. It is Tuesday, the 6th of February. And I'm feeling pretty good. We got Monk without a cause. We got Luke. We got G. We got Sigourney. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing today? On this Tuesday afternoon, we chugging along. Man, it's crazy. It's already the 6th of February. I mean, we basically halfway through February already, almost. We just about there. But let's keep it going. Let's keep it going strong. Spring is just around the corner. Summer after that, we got warmer days. We got happier days ahead of us. Even though this, you know, this election year is going to be a whole lot. It's already been a lot. This year is going to be crazy regardless. We still gonna have a good time when it gets warm. It's just something about the cold weather that it's just such a downer. You know what I mean? We got Twin Dragon, we got Anomaly. Thank you for being here. We got For Primus. Okay, you got you a free coffee today. Okay, nice. My man's G is on that cappuccino time, doing his thing. But yes, we are here. So let us get into it now. Um Now, look, first, we might as well just go ahead and start with the most obvious thing ever. You know, oh yeah, yep, Elisa. Well, unfortunately, I'm not actually eating any bacon at the moment. I was just saying how bacon is just goes good with everything. Give me the pork, give me the pork bacon, give me the pig bacon. I'll eat the turkey bacon too. Don't get me wrong, but go ahead and hook me up with a plate of that real shit. You feel me? I'm not one of those people who discriminates against the swine. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and give me a whole plate full of that pork chop. Now, like I was saying, we got Bibliophile in the building. Hello. Now, listen, I figure we might as well just go ahead and start again with the most obvious shit ever. I mean, courts aren't going to grant Donald Trump broad immunity, blanket immunity. It's not going to happen. I mean, why? What for? What? Like, the country just simply isn't set up that way. And even if they were to grant that, that would just open up the doors for more popular movements to take absolute power. So given if some president was even remotely progressive, they would be very popular. Progressive, especially in the sense of like if we had a president that got in office and unscheduled cannabis, unscheduled marijuana, push for its legalization, got that done. Did either maybe erase student loan debt or something incredibly close to it, greatly expanded Medicare, did something about the cost of living. Like if somebody were to get in there and really do that, they would be very popular. So that being the point, I mean, why would even a right wing court want Donald Trump to get blanket immunity? He, you know, it's just ridiculous. So we gonna start with that. Chocolate covered bacon. I've never had chocolate covered bacon, but now, oh well, look at that. We on the right topic. We on the right line of discussion because it looks like Brother Luke is gonna have him some pork chop for dinner tonight. So I hope that it's wonderful. I absolutely do hope that it's wonderful. Now let's go ahead and get into this. Uh, Yeah, I mean, and I think it was like all of the judges were like, "No, dude," because and at the end of the day, Donald Trump's main strategy is to delay. And one of the March 4th trial that's delayed. Don't know when that's going to be, but either way, he's going to be in court all year long, um, and beyond. But either way, Yeah, no, they're not going to grant you this. A three-judge panel on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit has ruled that Donald Trump does not enjoy broad immunity from federal prosecution, a major legal setback for the former president, who said he will appeal. Of course. They wrote that for the purposes of this criminal case, quote, former President Trump has become Citizen Trump with all of the defenses of any other criminal defendant. The ruling comes a month after lawyers for Trump made sweeping claims that he enjoyed immunity from federal prosecutions. Claims that lawyers for the special counsel said would undermine democracy and give presidents license to commit crimes while in the White House, such as accepting bribes for directing government contracts or selling nuclear secrets to a foreign adversary. It would be a quote, it would be, quote, a striking paradox, the judges wrote. If the president who alone My bad. If the president, who alone has the constitutional duty to ensure that laws be faithfully executed, were the sole officer capable of defying those laws with impunity. Stephen Chung, a spokesman for Trump, said the former president respectfully disagrees with the D.C. Circuit's decision and will appeal. Yeah, Donald Trump respectfully disagrees. No, he went straight to Truth Social and started yelling in all caps. A president must have full immunity because if he doesn't, then they're gonna face what indictment as soon as they get out of office. Like, bro, like this has only happened with you, so that's a terrible defense. Like, there's no meat there. There's no meat on those bones. Oh, okay. Here we go. So this is what he said. Um, if immunity is not granted to a president, every future president who leaves office will be immediately indicted by the opposing party. Without complete immunity, a president of the United States would not be able to properly function. I mean, it's just so dumb. It's so ridiculous. And that's why it just absolutely can't win in court. It's so damn stupid. It's like, it's just hilarious to watch. He's going to appeal it. I don't know if he appealed the E. Jean Carroll thing, though, because if he does, he has to put up like $83 million up in a trust or something, up in a bond or some shit like that. So he may just have to let that one go. He gonna have to rub that one off to his voting base, have them pay for it, you know. All right, let's see. Um, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, because we remember the footage of one of the judges asking, if the president wanted to have SEAL Team 6 go take a hit on one of his political opponents, would that be under blanket immunity? And it was basically like, yes, because if that was something the president had to do, then it would be something he had to do. We can't let bureaucracy get in the way of that, which is pretty much all the rest of it. But I mean, there's really nothing to talk about. This is like that. This legal argument is dead on arrival. And again, obviously, he could still win the election, but this is different. This is the court system. But I mean, come on, like, what do you mean? Like, I should be able to do whatever the fuck I want. Like, come on, bro. I mean, again, that what do you even say to that? Like, how do you even give some type of real argument against it other than yeah, no, fuck off. Hold on, let's see though. Let's see though, because you already know that we might as well just get into a couple of his comments after this before we get into other news. Before we get into other things. Uh Yeah, yeah, of course he is. Imagine how, bruh. Imagine how exhausting it is for Donald Trump with this shit. I mean, this guy, all he does is post on Truth Social. That's all he does. Walk out of the courtroom, run his mouth, and lose. Oh, he posting the polls. He's posting the polls. What did he do? Okay, 4 hours ago. Who will win the U.S. presidential election? Why is Michelle Obama? Why is Michelle Obama in this? Yeah, I mean Trump's up in the what the fuck kind of poll is this? Again, yeah, Trump is up in the polls, but what the fuck? Why is Michelle Obama in this? She's not running. She's not gonna run. this this shit is crazy. I I mean, it's just stupid when people are like, "Oh, Michelle Obama's gonna get in it." Like, no, she's not. Full caps, because we can't miss nothing. We can't miss none of this shit, man.
If immunity is not granted to a president, every president that leaves office will be immediately indicted by the opposing party. Without complete immunity, a president of the United States would not be able to properly function.
Oh, Jesus. And then his lawyer, one of his lawyers, basically just came out and said the exact same thing that he said.
I should be able to do whatever I want, no matter what, and not face any consequences.
Like, bruh, like, how did we get here? How did we arrive here as a nation? It's like something straight out of a cartoon. I should be able to do whatever I want. Okay, bro. All right, we got Alina Habba, we got Elon Musk, we got Ted Cruz today. What we got, man? We got a variety of stuff. Hmm. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, what else is there really to even say about anything to do with Donald Trump's defenses? He's gonna keep losing in court. I mean, it doesn't matter. He could win at the ballot box. He can end up winning at the ballot box, but he's gonna keep losing in court because his defense is so ridiculous. Like, what do you mean I can do whatever the fuck I feel like? You're admitting to guilt with that defense. Like, you're literally admitting to guilt. It's so stupid. All right. What we got? Oh, no, 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 no. Don't get me off of this. I ain't trying to do this. We got some cannabis news out of New York, but I don't know if we going to get to that one right now. We going to check this out. What some of these people got to say about Republicans rejecting the border bill. The Wall Street editorial board comes out hard in favor of border bill. Will Republicans not abandon what they claim to want? Uh-oh, we got the Wall Street Journal, the establishment Republican edition. We got these people coming out strong. After Republicans in the House of Representatives declared the bipartisan bill drafted by the Senate dead on arrival, a prominent voice on the right is telling them to change their minds and vote for the bill. The Wall Street Journal editorial board published an op-ed on Tuesday, not just not just urging Republicans to vote for the bill, but giving them all the reasons why they should. In short, the bill, aside from a few bipartisan compromises, contains nearly everything they have been asking for. And they ask, will Republicans now abandon what they claim they want? So of course they will. Of course. Why not? You got to have some type of an argument. You got to have some type of a narrative. Of course, let's get it done. Felicia, good morning. How you doing? How are you doing? Good to have you here. Okay, this is an excerpt. These are some excerpts. Do Republicans want to better secure the U.S. border, or do they want to keep what has become an open sore festering for another year as an election issue? That's the choice presented to Congress this week with the rollout of the Senate's bipartisan border security bill. And we'll soon learn what the GOP really wants. We will soon learn. We will. I mean, what else is there to say? What else do they say? Oh, yeah, we got a video of James Langford. More political shaming. Yet the signs are that many Republicans in Congress may heed Mr. Trump's current orders and reject this policy victory. They will point to this or that detail to justify opposition, all of which are minor in the context of these consequential reforms. Well, looks like a bunch of hoopla. Looks like a whole bunch of hoopla. You want to know why? Hold on, what is this? Do they have a video of it? Oh, it's Mark Levine. Actually, Biden, you're the fucking piece of shit, not Netanyahu and not Trump. You've blood on your hands on the border in Israel and Afghanistan and among our own troops. You and your family are used your public office to make tens of millions from our enemies, but not Donald Trump, not the $2 billion deal with Jared Kushner. That doesn't count. No, that doesn't count. Anomaly, thank you so much for joining us. I hope the rest of your workday goes swimmingly well. Oh God. Oh, what is this? No, get off the screen. No. Man, why they got this big ass thing on the computer screen? All right, I'm gonna have to open up something else. Apparently, Ted Cruz introduced a new bill. The headline of this article right here. I'm gonna have to open up. I'm gonna have to open this up on another website, which I'll do while we check something else out. The headline says, "Here, I'll just show you. Why not?" Before I open it up on another page, we're gonna go to something else first. It says, Ted Cruz proposes legislation that would make it harder to photograph lawmakers jetting off to Cancun while their constituents freeze to death. um, I'm gonna open that up in a sec because I don't want to pay for whatever that is. All right, what should we go to next, real quick? Let's see. All right, we got something from the Senate Democrats. What we got from the Senate Dems? Senate Democrats push to require that Biden consult Congress on weapons sales to Israel. Senate Democrats are pushing to prevent the Biden administration from bypassing Congress when approving weapons sales to Israel as the Jewish state continues its war against Hamas under increasing scrutiny. Democratic Senator Tim Kaine of Virginia will be introducing an amendment Tuesday that, if passed, would strike language in the $118 billion national security supplemental, allowing for the administration to send any future arms sales to Israel without first notifying Congress. The larger border legislation is increasingly at risk of dying in the Senate amid bipartisan opposition, making it unlikely that the Israel provision will see a vote. That's definitely a guarantee right there. Yet the push from Kaine and the majority of the Senate Democratic caucus is the latest example of the growing critique from those in President Joe Biden's party regarding his handling of the bloody ongoing war between Israel and Hamas and America's increasing role in it. Quote, Congress and the American people deserve full transparency about military assistance to all nations, Kaine said in a statement to the Associated Press. No president of any party should bypass Congress on issues of war, peace, and diplomacy. Agreed. The amendment, which has the backing from the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations, Armed Services, and Intelligence Committees, comes after Biden went around lawmakers twice in December to send more than $250 million of weaponry to Israel. Bypassing Congress with emergency determinations for arms sales is an unusual step that has in past administrations been met with resistance from lawmakers, who normally have a period of at least 15 to 30 days, excuse me, to weigh in on proposed weapons transfers and, in some cases, block them. The State Department sought to counter potential criticism of the sales on human rights grounds by saying it was in constant touch with Israel to emphasize the importance of minimizing civilian casualties, which have soared to more than 25,000 since Israel began its response to the Hamas attacks on Israel on October 7th. And remember too, I was mentioning how like the death toll is so disproportionate. Like there'll be commercials that come on sometimes of like, you know, there's hundreds of Israelis have been killed, which obviously is legitimate. But then like, oh, but not the tens of thousands of Palestinians who have been killed. It's just like it's so disproportionate. um, where were we? The Biden administration has also justified the recent sales by citing emergency determinations. It is a rare but not unprecedented move the State Department makes when it sees an urgent need for weapons to be delivered without waiting for lawmakers' approval. McCain and a growing number of Democrats are calling for the administration to adhere to a mere deliberative process as escalations in the Middle East continue, with more involvement by U.S. troops in the region. Quote, that's why I'm introducing a common sense amendment backed by dozens of my Senate colleagues to ensure that we maintain full congressional oversight for U.S. aid to Israel, just as we do for every other nation we support. The same standard should apply to every country receiving U.S. military assistance, he said. Well, yeah, I mean, this definitely won't make it through. There's not bipartisan support for it. Republicans absolutely never would support something like this, and perhaps not enough Democrats would either. But this is a growing issue for the world, but also specifically for the Biden reelection campaign. So it does make sense that Democrats are pushing for at least recognition on this issue, but this won't make it through the Senate. But it's good to know. Oh, we got distracted gardener in the building. Hello, what's going on? What's going on? All right, let's see. Oh. All right. Nancy Mace gets pressed on the border security agreement. Fox News' Martha McCallum presses Nancy Mace for claiming Senate bill, quote, keeps the border wide open.
Soundbite from your colleague on the Senate side, Langford, about his reaction to where this stands. Watch this.
Are we as Republicans going to have press conferences and complain the border's bad and then intentionally leave it open? After the worst month in American history in December, now we've got to actually determine, are we going to just complain about things, or are we going to actually address and to change as many things as we can?
So what the American people were told, Congresswoman, was that the funding for Ukraine and Israel and Taiwan wouldn't happen unless we did something at the border first. So then these negotiators get together and they work on a program to at least start to chip away at some of the problems that exist on the border. They come up with something, and now Republicans, many of them, including yourself, are shutting it down. So what do you say to the American people about that?
Well, I find it very ironic, Senator Langford's comments there, because this bill keeps the border wide open. There are so many loopholes in this bill, it'll make your head spin. And any Republican that supports it supports open borders, because it's going to allow...
It'll make your head spin. It's just, man, it just opens the shit completely. Whatever fence, whatever barbed wire, whatever wall there is, it just knocks it all down. You know, whatever, type of heat sensory devices there may be, laser sensory devices, all that shit's just getting knocked down, all of it's getting knocked out, and we just gonna let people come in with absolutely no oversight whatsoever.
Secretary Mayorkas to have full discretion on who comes in above that 5,000 limit. It lowers the standard for those that are seeking asylum. And look, the American people are tired of being an ATM machine for the illegal aliens that are coming across our border every single day. And the more that
And again, this is not a new issue. This isn't a new issue.
read language in this bill, the more frustrated I get with it, because it's not what we're being sold.
I think we're all trying to figure out this bill. Have you read all 370 pages of this bill?
We are working through it. We have about 50 pages more to go, but from what we can tell, and I'm going to put forth a statement once we finish reading the bill, the measures that we feel are extremely undesirable, that keep our border open, that water down the asylum system. It's not good for the country.
Well, they say
quite
exactly
frankly.
the opposite. That's why I'm asking, and obviously Senator Langford and his colleagues, worked hard to negotiate something. It's hard to do some actual negotiation, and they say no new asylum claims would be allowed. Anybody crossing would be removed.
Based on
over this
what,
Benford. Hold on.
Yeah.
And he said, it ends the whole idea of I made it to U.S. soil, and now you have to process me. It increases detention.
No amnesty for anyone already here. $650 million to build whatever wall construction, fencing, whatever it is, so there's money for that, which will probably be repairs and a little bit here or whatever. Increase ICE funds and detention capacity to 50,000. Shut down authority after average of 5,000. Man, other than the presidential race, Republicans are they're screwed in the down ballot races. They're screwed. I mean, outside of the reversal of Roe v. Wade and the abortion bans that we talk about all the time, like, man, the parties they're just totally crumbling. Like even if Trump ends up winning the presidency, the party itself is just like it's just it's just totally crumbling and falling apart more and more every day.
Beds double.
Not that this shit is new, but it's just like Republicans really have not been doing well for quite some time.
The deportation flights and adds $650 million to expand the border wall, which is the same language and funding that's in H.R. 2. So, isn't getting something better than getting nothing, because this problem isn't going away?
No, but when you have a loophole on the other side of it, on the very next page in the bill, that puts a squash on any of that you're talking about there, and allows the Secretary Mayorkas
She said the very next page of the bill says, "Psych, psych, bitch." I'm just kidding, Gotcha, bitch. That's all it says on the very next page. There's this long, detailed list of like all the ins and outs of litigation and process and what have you, and how things will go down. On the very next page, psych, bitch.
Allows bureaucrats to make these decisions rather than courts. That waters down the reasoning behind.
We got Fritz in the building. Hello.
Those seeking asylum, lowers the standard for those seeking asylum. That's what we're talking about here. That's the language that we're reading in the bill. And
now that's a fact. After Donald Trump, Republicans they're going to have a really hard time. I mean, if they're not able to find somebody else who can just totally encapsulate the party as a whole, not that the movements and certain cultural elements within the party are dead, because those will continue. But like, yeah, after Trump, they're really in trouble, which is good news for progressives. Very good news for Gen X, Gen Y, and Gen Z progressives to get our asses in office.
Part of what I can tell is that we're not being told the truth here about the bill. And I'm going to put out a statement that goes through it page by page, just like I did that bad debt ceiling bill last year, that will outline to the American people what the truth is, because they deserve nothing but the truth.
All right. Well, we're covering, obviously, both sides of this Republican battle over what to do, if anything, to close the border. So we'll continue to share with our viewers both sides of this equation as.
Now, we're not going far enough. The next page of that bill, and again, like, you can make jokes about it, but they literally call for, like, we need to have our troops just lined up thousands of miles across the border. Just post them up there with rifles. But they serious though. But obviously that would be an incredible expenditure of resources. Republican Senator Burns Musk, over opposition to border bill, tells him to focus on the 2 million Teslas that are currently being recalled. Oh, so you know what? First, let's go to the Elon Musk he's such such a dummy. Like, the things that he'll say and the stuff that he'll do. I mean, he's a con artist. I mean, we know that. He's a walking mascot. But bro, I mean, this guy, where is this? Hold on. What was he saying? I think one of his tweets was, or was that the one that I actually had up already? Because I have another one up where Elon Musk tried to introduce the idea of a carbon tax, and his fans went crazy on him. But okay, here we go. Yeah, actually, I had the right thing pulled up. We're gonna check this out first, and then the other one is something non-related. Let's see what's up. What we got? Oh, yes, we got the new chair courtesy of Queen Fritza, and it is quite comfortable, quite durable, quite sturdy. And I will be sitting my ass in it for many a more hour today, because I have more work to do. Always more work to do, but it's paying off. So let's keep it going. No, because Elon Musk, he's doing the long-term goal of the so-called border security bill is enabling illegals to vote. It will do the total opposite of securing the border. Like, I mean, it's just he's just such a pandering fucking loser. Elon Musk is like, dude, like you know good and damn well that this isn't how this shit works. You know that that's not going to happen. You're just trying to keep your little fan base adorned with you.
Here's a claim being circulated on Twitter or X by Elon Musk, who posted, quote, the long-term goal of the so-called border security bill is enabling illegals to vote. It will do the total opposite of securing the border, unquote. Now, I know that Elon Musk is not an expert on illegal immigration or the border, but he has a huge megaphone.
He does.
Explain what he's talking about here. Is he wrong?
Well, I think he needs to go back to doing the 2 million Teslas that are currently being recalled right now to be able to focus in on that. No, it's back to
Burn. Yes, he is South African. He was not born here.
the 2 million Teslas that are currently being recalled right now.
Is he wrong?
Well, I think he needs to go back to doing the 2 million Teslas that are currently being recalled right now to be able to focus in on that. No, it's not focused on trying to be able to get more.
That was a very smooth, very deserved burn right there, because it's like at this point the legend of Elon Musk is broken. You know, like the majority of people know, like, oh, okay, he's just a rich investor.
Or illegals to vote. That's absurd in the process on it. It is against the law for anyone that is not a citizen.
Facts. He spent all that money to try to get people to like him. That's really all it is. That's literally it.
The United States to be able to vote in the United States in any federal election. That remains so. Obviously, we're not dealing with that. I've heard some people say, hey, you're not taking on illegal voting, and so I'm going to oppose this bill. By the way, neither did H.R. 2 that came out of the House that so many people have said was the perfect border security bill. It also did not deal with any issues of voting because that bill was seen as a border security bill. Not
motherfuckers who live in like Idaho who are like, the border. The border's a disaster. Like, bro, don't nobody live in Idaho. You like, there's like 4 other people in Idaho. Like, shut the Obviously, the border is an issue, but it's just, it's one of those carrot dangling in front of your face things, which Republicans really should have kept. And we never, ever, ever gonna stop saying this, man. Republicans should have kept the reversal of Roe, the pro-life movement. They should have kept that a carrot and a stick situation. They never should have let the donkey eat the carrot, because now that's one of the biggest reasons they're consistently losing elections. Okay, let's see what's up with this. My man's Chip Roy, apparently he's not going to endorse Nikki Haley because she was on Saturday Night Live. I too love Mexicans. I agree with you, Mike Boy. I agree. I love Mexicans as well. Okay, apparently he said, nah, she went on Saturday Night Live. That's a lot. That's a line too far for me. Now that Ron DeSantis is out of the race, nah, we got to get back to Trump.
President of the National Border Patrol Council to the State of the Union, I believe it was in 2019. He backs this bill. Yep. So is he wrong because he thinks that this is a good piece of legislation?
Well, look, Brendan's a friend, and so is Hector and all the guys down there, and I know them well. I was just texting with them a little bit ago, and that was a private conversation. But in general, what I would say is this. He's got a duty to try to provide some relief for Border Patrol agents. If they can get any movement at all, they're happy. I've got a duty to 750,000 Texans and all Texans to not cement into law a basically perpetuation of mass migration, which is what this bill.
Stoned assassin in the building. I hope the tattoo session is going well. What you getting? Shit, I need to get me some, well, I don't need to, but I'm going to start getting tatted again very soon. Hope the session's going good. Good to have you here.
Will do. It will guarantee a 5,000 threshold. And it will, by the way, all of those limits, they crater after 3 years. And in fact, in year 1 can only be used for 270 days, 225 days in year 2,
but
180
isn't it
days in
important
year
to
3.
fix the issue now? Isn't that the argument here that right now you say it's a crisis? And if you say no to something that doesn't do everything, but and the 5,000, I should note, is a ceiling, not a floor here. That's what I don't understand, the opposition on that front.
See, we actually believe that it sets more of a floor, right? It doesn't account for the unaccompanied alien children. You're going to create a magnet for children to be abused by cartels by exempting them from the 5,000 number. You can run as many kids as you want. So guess what will happen? Just like 2 years ago, they'll run kids. They moved to adults because the Biden administration just started releasing people. So the cartels adapted.
But is the
they started
argument
moving
here,
adults.
Congressman, that essentially you're not going to pass this? That this is going to, if this fails, that then nothing happens on Capitol Hill? And what's the backup plan? Is that to wait 350 days and hope that Republican Donald Trump potentially is inaugurated as president? Because you criticized how he handled immigration. You said he failed on immigration the last time he was in office. So why do you think it would be different this time if he was elected?
Because Donald Trump isn't a woman, God damn it. That's why.
Well, first of all, it's all relative. I mean, President Trump was working hard to move the numbers down in his presidency. We just didn't get the permanent legislative fixes that I wanted. You remember that's what I was saying out on the stump, was that I wanted to get the permanent changes.
Yeah, you said
yes, right now I want to get. Well, we didn't get that done then, all right? But Biden administration has no interest in getting permanent changes that would actually get the numbers where they need to be, which is in fact zero. What we need to have is what HR 2 would do, which is say 0 releases, you detain or you turn away. If you do that, the flow stops. We don't have a crisis. We don't have kids getting abused, and you can.
Nikki Haley's a woman. That's why. I mean, what you mean? Well, it's not even just that. It's basically just that. It's basically just that. Let's be serious. That's basically what it is. She has a vagina. We can't do that. Can't be doing that one, God damn it. Hold on, I forgot about this. What's up with this new Ted Cruz legislation? I gotta. Oh man, this website is being an asshole right now. Not letting me highlight this shit in full. Like, damn. You don't want me to succeed. Hold on, here we go. We're gonna type that in right there. Oh, okay, never mind. Never mind. Oh, hold up. We got George Santos. Always good to have some type of an update from Mr. Santy. It just is. He puts a smile on my face. If you can't tell. Hold up. George Santos swears he's not dating baby-faced OnlyFans model. Man, somebody tell George Santos to come through to my OnlyFans page, bruh. I mean, what are you waiting for, man? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? My man, hold up. Let's check this out. Listen, George Santos, look, listen, man. If you ever get a hold of this, look, I got everything you could possibly want on my OnlyFans page. I ain't gonna go into detail because we on YouTube right now, but it ain't no secret. I do, you know what I'm saying? I does my thing. And if you willing to spend campaign dollars, if you willing to spend voters and donor dollars on OnlyFans, if you got some type of new baby face boyfriend on OnlyFans somewhere, go ahead and head over to Snacks and Boppy on OnlyFans. You feel me? Get the message out to George Santos. I would love to collect some of his scammed ass dollars. Go ahead and throw it into the pot. Go ahead and throw me them ones, baby. All right, let's get back to it. That's absolutely what we got to do. I had to make that announcement just in case George Santos ever happens to stumble upon me, you know. Hopefully he does, and he's like, like, hey. All right, what's up with this? This is Courtney Cox, who looks great, but that is not what the story is about. We heard rumors last week that former Congressman George Santos has been spending time with a baby-faced OnlyFans performer called Michael Doherty. Doherty is a young man whose twin interests, and if his social media presence is anything to go by, are on the one hand wearing underwear and on the other not wearing underwear. Oh, okay, he got him a taste. He has a preference. Okay, now I know what George Santos likes. He has nearly 100,000 followers on the X-rated streaming site. Oh, he popping. My man's is booming. Where he bills himself as the top bad boy on OnlyFans and promises not only that he's horny all the time, but also that he's willing to show whatever you want me to show. My man's is willing to go ham. He willing to go all the way out. You know what I'm saying? He don't hold back, so you know his shit popping. You know his audience is intrigued. I ain't even hating on him. Go ahead and get you that George Santos money. I'm not hating on you at all, my brother. You popping too. He got 100,000 followers on OnlyFans. He booming. Hey, go ahead and do your thing. Go ahead and do your thing. All right, what we got now? Yes, and then it points out that he indeed did spend the campaign dollars on the OnlyFans site. He indeed did his thing, you know. But the shuttlebutt around town had suggested that Santos might have been doing more than just logging into Darty's portal. When he reached him for comment, Santos staunchly denied any romantic connection. He was like, nah, bruh. Well, why should we believe that? Why should we believe George Santos? If he said no, it's a yes. You already know. The gentleman from Long Island told Page Six, quote, Mr. Doherty owns a managing company for social media creators called Vizzy, and I have engaged them to manage my social media portfolio. He added somewhat archly, my relationship with him starts and ends there. Ain't nothing to see here, folks. That's what he said. Ain't nothing to see here. It should perhaps be noted that Santos is, of course, a liar. Indeed. You never know, man. You never know. Yeah. Yeah. So apparently Doherty is a he has a social media company and he's booming and he's doing his thing. My man's George Santos. All right. Now, apparently Elon Musk wanted to make an offer to his base, you know, because Elon Musk believes in climate change and shit like that. You know, he does believe in that. Elon Musk introduces his new right-wing fans to a carbon tax. Goes as well as you'd expect. Elon preaching to his congregation of idiots. That's what I say. Elon must be saying stuff, and it's like, dude, you know good and damn well that this is not where it is, and it's not where it's at, and this is not how it works. I looked at some of these reactions, and it was fucking funny. The only action needed to solve climate change is a carbon tax. Oh, they're gonna open it up on the other side, of course. What is this? Okay, hold on. Let me open this up on here. Let me open this up. What he talking about?
Will accelerate the transition out of the fossil fuel era. So there's a certain amount of carbon that is circulating through the environment. So it's going into the air, getting absorbed by plants and animals. And then going back into the air, and this carbon is just circulating on the surface. And this is fine, and it's been doing that for millions, hundreds of millions of years. The thing that's changed is that we've added something to the mix. So this is what I would call the turd in the punch bowl. We added all this extra carbon
Is it? It's probably. It shouldn't be muted now. I don't think it's. I don't think it's muted now. But let me play it back, or play it from where it was. I don't think it's muted now.
Taking billions of tons of carbon that's been buried for hundreds of millions of years and is not part of the carbon cycle, taking it from deep underground and adding it to the carbon cycle. The result is that a steady increase in the carbon in the atmosphere and in the ocean, which doesn't look like much if you look at it on this chart, but when looked at in the context of history, it actually looks like this. So the carbon parts per million has really been bouncing.
Oh yeah, I was saying, I don't know if y'all could hear it, but I was saying if Elon Musk does end up running for office, I think that I think that would not go well for him at all. One, because there's so much going against him, but two, he's also, I mean, listen to this guy.
Around the 300 level for around 10 million years. And then in the last few hundred years,
I mean, it's fine just talking purposes, but like it would go about as well for him as it went for Ron DeSantis. I was saying Elon Musk, he could donate to politics, he can give money to politics all day. He can do that all he wants. But I think if he does run, I think that would not go well for him. I think he should reconsider that strongly. But he'll do what he wants.
it went into a vertical climb. This is the essence of the problem. This is very unusual and a very extreme threat, as you can see from this rate of growth. Then this is accompanied by a temperature increase, as one would expect. And this temperature increase, people talk about 2 degrees.
Elon Musk's unbelievably simple killer breakdown on climate change. And again, it may be some type of whatever he's talking about may definitely have legitimacy, but that's kind of how like the Elon Musk cult functions. It's like, you know, everything's actually really just so simple. Everything's really easy, which is kind of a lot of how the conservative movement in this country works. Everything's simple. When you try to understand stuff, when you try to get into the details, that's when you get into stupid town. Really learning and really knowing shit. We don't want to do that over here. We just want to keep shit simple because everything's so simple.
Or 3 degrees. It's important to appreciate just how sensitive the climate actually is to temperature.
Yeah, but Donald Trump is entertaining. He's charismatic. Donald Trump has what a politician would need to get there. Like if you don't have the ability to captivate people at all, you may win, but I don't think that would. I don't think Elon Musk would be able to capture the country the same way that he did Donald Trump. Of course, I could be wrong, but I just don't see it. I think it would. I think Ron DeSantis. That's one of the key things Ron DeSantis lacked is the ability to really connect with people, and Elon Musk doesn't seem to be able to do that well, but he really wants to.
And it's important to look at it in terms of absolute temperature, not
Andy, thank you so much. I had a great birthday. Thank you for being here.
in degrees Celsius relative to 0. We need to say, what is the temperature change relative to absolute 0? That's how the universe.
Okay, I think we get the point here. Basically, Elon Musk is at least acknowledging the reality of climate change and some of the solutions that we can take to minimize the damages and minimize the speed at which it occurs. And his people was like, oh damn, they got the mini image right there. Here's some of the memes that was posted about it because they was not feeling it. They were not feeling this shit. Somebody posted gay. Somebody with a good, they got an American flag in there. American flag in the background. Gay. Up until 1913, Americans kept all of their earnings. Despite this, America still had schools, roads, colleges, vast railroads, subways, and an army and a navy. Tell me again why taxes are necessary. Okay, that was a response to the carbon tax. No taxes, period, whatsoever. Never. Elon Musk has been totally captured by the most politically radical elements of the country. Oh, yep, here we go. UN predicts disaster of global warming not checked. This article was posted in 1989. Still, we're still here. It's still a planet. I'm still alive. The CO2 narrative is a lie. It's a goddamn liberal lie. Ain't no such thing as CO2. My man's. But see, again, that's why he got to say stuff like, Biden administration wants to let in as many illegals as they can so that they can win elections. Because these are the types of people with whom he has aligned himself. A better way to say it, with whom he has trapped himself. Elon Musk is trapped with these people, man. He is. He really is. But that was just a funny look, man. It's always funny to look at Elon Musk. All right. Well, we got credit card debt, man. We got Americans in credit card debt. It's rising. It is on the rise. On the rise. Americans' credit card debt hits record $1.13 trillion.
It starts small but can quickly spiral out of control. Credit card debt. Millions are feeling the financial sting. Americans now owe a whopping $1.1 trillion in credit card debt, with balances skyrocketing 40% in just the past 2 years. How did the debt rack up so quickly? And what can you do to dig out? We take a look in this latest edition of Cashing In with Elizabeth Schulze.
For the first time in history, Americans' credit card debt is above $1 trillion. Yes, that is trillion with a capital T. It's an enormous number that's been adding up for years. Just look at this chart. 10 years ago, household credit card balances totaled $660 billion. Today, they're near 1.1.
The financial recession was just covered up with more debt. That's basically what this means. There was a ton of debt and then everybody went under. And we printed a whole lot more money and made even more debt.
$1 trillion. So what's behind this trend of charging it on your card? Well, for one, more people are using credit cards, especially as we buy more stuff online instead of using cash. And this isn't necessarily a bad thing. A lot of credit cards offer perks, like giving you cash back when you buy groceries or gas, or extra airline miles for every dollar that you spend. Those are great benefits that mean more money in your pocket while also building up your credit score, as long as you're paying off your bill in full every month. But here's the problem. More and more people aren't paying off their bills every month, and their balances are getting bigger. During the pandemic, many Americans used stimulus payments from the government to help pay off their credit card debt. But as those stimulus funds have dried up, a recent survey from Bankrate found that 47% of credit card holders are now carrying debt from month to month. That's up from 39% at the end of 2021. And the number of Americans,
because motherfuckers gotta eat,
who are missing their payments is going up too.
Pay their bills to keep their heat on and shit like that.
Credit card delinquencies are rising the fastest among lower income borrowers, millennials, and people who have other kinds of debt like auto or student loans. The average credit card balance now stands at just over $6,000, the highest in more than a decade. So why are balances going up so much? Well, one reason is inflation. As prices increased, households have had to pay more for the same stuff. To fight inflation, the Federal Reserve has raised interest rates, and those higher rates matter a lot if you're not paying off your balance every month. Minimum payments don't always do the trick. Let's say you have $5,000 in credit card debt, and your minimum payments are $35 a month. With interest rates at the current nearly 21%, it'll take you more than 16 years to pay off that debt. And you will have paid more than $7,000 in interest alone. That's on top of that original $5,000. Okay, so what can you do if you're feeling trapped by your credit card debt? The first thing you can do is try to call your credit card company to negotiate a lower interest rate.
Call them up. All right, so what we got $1.13 trillion in credit card debt. We got $6,000 being the average debt on those cards. Yes, a quick update indeed. So let's see. The credit card debt increased by $50 billion in the fourth quarter of 2023 alone, a 4.6% jump from the previous quarter. Damn. Let's see. The data on credit card debt comes as total household debt rose by $212 billion to reach $17.5 trillion in the fourth quarter of 2023. Man, oh my God. Delinquencies reflecting missed payments on credit card bills increased across all age groups. Borrowers between the ages of 30 and 39 are missing their payments. Ugh. At especially fast rates. All right, let's see. It says Americans are also taking more debt when they're buying cars. Auto loan balances rose by $12 billion in the fourth quarter to $1.61 trillion, while delinquencies also rose. Not so good economic news on the real economy, not the stock market, but the real economy. Yes, people might have jobs, but are they good jobs? Are they sustaining us? Do we have to work multiple jobs? Those are the things that count. Hold on. Oh, we got motherfucker, man. We got people growing so much weed. They don't even know what to do with it. Just a quick look at the headline. The weed industry is booming, but this does suck, man. Having to get rid of all of this right here. New York cannabis farmers may have to throw away 250,000 pounds of product due to retail store bottleneck. Ooh, God damn. Man, that is how much? 250,000 pounds. That's millions of dollars. I don't know how much that is right offhand, but that's a lot of money worth of weed. Hold on, let me see right quick. Let me see right quick. There's the Let me do a quick little calculation. A quick little calculation to see how much that might be. Boom, boom, boom. Hundreds of millions of dollars is what that is. That that's hundreds of millions of dollars worth of weed. Jesus Christ. 3 years after New York approved recreational cannabis use for adults 21 and older, the rollout of the Empire State's legal cannabis program has created a bottleneck of product with limited options to get it to market. People directly involved in the business told Market Watch. New York State has only opened about 50 legal stores, yet state legal cannabis farmers grew enough product this past summer and fall to supply up to 1,500 stores. A consultant who works in the industry said this is why regulations are important as well. Things like this end up happening without them. Regulations can prevent people from wasting money like this. Quote, I have clients that have spent $1 million on their cannabis cultivation and only sold a fraction of it. Across the state, at least 250,000 pounds of cannabis. What? That's only 27. Oh my, bro, the price of weed has gone down so much, which is a good thing for consumers. But oh my God, man, people ain't, unless you grow it, you ain't making no money off this shit in the streets at all. 250,000 pounds only being worth $27 million. Oh my God. What, bruh? And again, this is great news for consumers, but this is also an example of the power of legalization. Legalization drops the price so much because it becomes easier to find. I mean, even within my lifetime, I'm only 32 years old, but I remember when Reggie bad weed was everywhere. Now it's kind of difficult to find mids. Like weed is just better now. But I mean, got like 250,000 pounds of weed like 20 years ago would be over $100 million in the streets. Easily. Easily. Are you kidding me? But again, that's the power of legalization. I was way off. I did a calculation. I was like, damn. But Jesus. Hey, man, you selling this shit in the street, every single last dollar you got Every single last dollar you got is re-up money. God damn. Donald James, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the 4 months of membership. Thank you so much for everything you do. Thank you for all of your constant support. Thank you for just everything, man, for rocking with us, for challenging me when you disagree, all of that shit, man. I appreciate it all. We are on a roll. Everything is coming along quite well, and I'm excited about everything. Oh, we got Aaron in the building. But yeah, nah, man, the price of this shit has gone down significantly, which again is good for consumers. But woo, man, when shit's illegal, I mean, some illegal drugs are mad cheap. Like crack cocaine is cheap, heroin is cheap, like shit like that be cheap. Meth be cheap, but man, that's crazy. $27 million for 250,000 pounds. That's bro. That profit margin is crap. That is crap. If you want to be a drug dealer, shit. But I ain't hating on it. I am not hating on it because I ain't trying to spend $600 for an ounce of good weed. No, sir. Alina Habba advises EJ and Carol not to purchase any motorcycles or penthouse apartments because Trump will prevail in appeal. No, he won't. But let's see what she has to say. And you're, as far as I know, she is getting replaced.
Let's bring in legal spokesperson for Donald J. Trump and general counsel for Save America, Alina Habba. Alina, when you see this $83.3 million judgment, and then the very next night, Carol's out there, she's on MSNBC with the lawyer, and like, oh, what do you want? You want a penthouse in France? What do you want? Rachel Maddow, they're yucking it up. It's really disgusting. I mean,
She looks like she's tired of this. She looked like she's tired of it all. Like she just like, look, I done made what I think like $3 million. She done made some good money. She looked like, oh, I'm just ready to go off and go away and do my thing and be away from the cameras. I can't blame her.
People, even if you don't like Trump, you have to say, what the heck is going on here?
Right. I think they're seeing it. I hope they're seeing it. You know, we have a judge that's trying to throw a civil attorney threatening me that he's going to put me in the clink, I believe was what he said, because I objected to his ruling on an evidentiary issue. It was a PowerPoint slide that helped prove our case. And he said, no, you're not allowed to bring it in. I'm sorry. And I said, Your Honor, I have to put something on the record. I completely disagree with you. The evidence rules don't say it. And his response was, sit down, Ms. Habba, or I'm going to put you in.
Yeah, she did. She getting let go. And Trump did an interview the other day, and he was like, and I think it was with Maria Bartiromo, and she was like, now, hold on. Now, you did get a lot of criticism about the people that you put into your staff. And he was like,
yes, but you see, the difference between me and people like Joe Biden, like Sleepy Joe, is that I fire people. I fire everybody. That's the difference between me.
Like, okay.
In jail. If that is the point we are at as a country, where we are so literally suffer from this Trump derangement syndrome, really that it was like being in an epic Twilight Zone where no rules were allowed but for the other side. And then she goes out there and gloats and says she's going to buy France and a wardrobe and a motorcycle and this and that. I want everyone to remember, and I said this in my closing argument to the jury, she's here to get a check. And after this, she will continue. She didn't care, about the defamation. She cared about the publicity. And
yeah, okay, Alina. Well, she got her $86 million. That's, I know, the total, the 5 million plus the 83 or whatever it is. She got her 80-something million dollars. That's what that is, what she did get.
And I argue that ad nauseum. Unfortunately, when you block a jury from seeing video footage, tweets that prove our case, when you block them from letting us have an expert, but they can have one. We were not allowed to have an expert. We tried twice. The judge wouldn't allow them in. It is so obvious. And unfortunately, that jury in that silo wouldn't.
It's so obvious. Everybody's just an idiot. Everyone's just dumb. We all got it wrong, except for y'all. That this old 78-year-old white man who's been rich his entire life, he's just getting picked on by society. It's just not fair. He was a former president of the United States. At one point in time, he was, about the most powerful thing breathing. It's just so unfair.
Know that because they're not allowed on the internet, and they hear the rulings and they see a judge, putting an attorney down. then that jury's going to believe whatever the judge is leading them to believe. And on appeal,
Yes, watch. She gonna end up suing Trump. Rudy Giuliani sued Trump. Rudy Giuliani sued Trump for unpaid legal fees. But right, exactly. Alina, watch. Let 6 months, let a year or two go by. Alina's gonna be like, I can't get a job anywhere. Fuck Donald Trump. She gonna sue him for whatever he got left.
those rulings will come up, the one-sidedness will come up, and we will prevail.
So, Alina, a lot of these judgments, these monster judgments that come out, and for me, $83 million because Trump says she's a nut job. I mean, how many times have you said that person's a nut? It's insane, $83 million. What are the odds of it sticking, especially because it's New York?
But Trump ain't saying shit about E. Jean Carroll no more. He ain't saying her name now. So which again, what was the main indication that he knows what he's doing. I mean, he's out of his mind, but he knows what he's doing. He ain't saying her name now, but it's so unfair.
Clearly, a group of people who dislike Donald Trump. What are the odds of the 83 staying or being reduced?
My advice to her would be not to go ahead and purchase any motorcycles or penthouse apartments.
Did I get this right, that she was initially awarded $5 million and they came
For
back
sexual assault. And then I want the world to remember something. We're in a planet where George Floyd got 40-something million. People that have wrongful death get 10 million. But this jury awarded for defamation for a sitting president to deny an allegation, to say, I didn't do that. I don't remember meeting this woman.
What is that? How are those two things related to one another? How are wrongful death lawsuits related to Donald Trump not shutting up about E. Jean Carroll? Like, literally, all he had to do is not say her name and not say anything. All he did was claim his innocence. That's all he did. He put out 4,000. I don't know how many, but the man probably put out a couple thousand fucking posts about E. Jean Carroll. I mean, let's be serious.
And
then he threw a fit and walked out of court before he got his conviction, or just after it, or something like that.
This actually works against sexual assault victims who are real victims. That's what his statement said. As a sitting president, he had to address the press. Then the other statement was on the lawn going, answering reporters. Again, he says, I did not do this. $83 million. $83 million. People die and get less. Die and get less.
What? Okay. What does that mean? What does that have to do with why he got $83 million that he got to pay up?
Yeah.
It's
Trump derangement syndrome and beyond.
Yeah, man. Get it out of New York if you can.
Bro, man, listen, man. Being down with the MAGA, being a part of MAGA, being down with the MAGA crowd, bro, that shit is embarrassing. That is embarrassing. Because, people really aren't enamored with Joe Biden like that. I mean, sure, maybe like here and there you might find people who are like, oh, I love Joe Biden. But that's really not a thing. Joe Biden is just another politician. He's just an incumbent president. But Trump is the way people just are just enchanted with him. It's embarrassing. It really is. Hey, but it is what it is. That's where we at. But look, man, we had a very wonderful Tuesday afternoon live stream. We definitely had a good one. We had a fun one. Thank you again, Donald, for 4 months of membership. Thank you, everybody, for everything that you do. The new year has started off well. We're going to keep going. I got a lot of work to do, but the work is paying off and it is productive. And yeah, man, I don't think I'm going to be on TYT. I don't think I'm hosting any shows this week. I'll keep y'all updated for the next time. I think in a couple weeks I am. But yeah, man. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good rest of the day. And I will see you tomorrow.